This morning we're continuing our look at some big flops in business.
That's right, but these weren't just any failures. These failures came from big names that had a previous record of success. Pac-Man was one of the most successful arcade games of the early 1980s. Made by Namco, the maze game was a hit with a wide demographic, something new in the industry at the time. And it makes sense that Atari wanted to make a version of Pac-Man for their 2600 console at the time, despite its inferior technology.
Programmer Todd Fry was given just a small amount of time to bring Pac-Man to that system, but despite that, Atari was so confident of its success that it produced 2 million more copies of Pac-Man than the number of systems to play the game had been sold at the time.
And Pac-Man sold big and was a huge retail hit, so you might be thinking, what makes this a big flop? Well, Pac-Man for Atari 2600 may have sold big to start, but it fizzled quickly, with actually a lot of folks trying to return it. This was due to gameplay issues, inferior graphics and sound, and limited features compared to the arcade original. Now, some say this game, along with E.T. for the same system, helped lead to the video game crash of 1983.
All right.
Wow.
Well, Atari may not still be around making game consoles, but in the movie industry, Eddie Murphy is still starring in big feature films.
Yeah, but the popular comedians' movies weren't all as successful as Beverly Hills Cop or Shrek. In 2002, The Adventures of Pluto Nash was released. Also starring Rosario Dawson and John Cleese, the science fiction-themed comedy Set on the Moon was actually finished in the year 2000, but basically sat on a shelf for 2 years.
And once it finally hit theaters, it was a historic flop, making just over $7 million on a $100 million budget. It was nominated for 5 Razzies that year and also received almost all negative reviews from critics.
Ooh. Join us tomorrow as we look back at 2 more big names that had big flops, but only getting 7% of your...
Ouch. That's a pretty big loss.
That's not good, yeah.
I'm not great at math, but I know that's not good.
Yeah, that's not a good number.
Chris Haverly will be back with another look at your forecast in just a minute.
And remember, the News 4 this morning is on Twitter. Every day we update our Twitter with links to the stories you can see here on the morning show. We also post breaking news and weather updates, and we interact with you. All you have to do is type in News 4 this morning or look for us at Morning WTVY 4.